Yeah, awesome, but it's going to be cool to see how other people are inspired of what current work that they're doing in today's collecting climate, right? So that's pretty cool. And you both have divulged some stuff about action figure documentary, action figure adventure. Is there anything that you can divulge today that you have not posted on social media, some little tidbit that you can have as an exclusive piece that you can announce today?
I think there's one cool thing. So the auction is this big event, right? It's kind of like the third act of Jay's journeyed all over the place, driven lots and lots of hours for different items here and come back. Now this auction has to happen. Again, we're targeting this spring here in London, Ontario, to have like 10 or so key pieces. So there's one tidbit. 10 awesome items, high dollar, amazing collector items. And we've discovered that there's a bit of a theme for these pieces that has emerged organically, and that's the theme of villains. So there's a very villainous theme that runs through all the different pieces that you'll see in the auction.
Do you find that there's more money in toy villainy?
I think it's more fun to talk about.
All right, yeah. I mean, there you go. You're going to have He-Man or you're going to have Skeletor.
It's kind of just what happened with the locations we went to and the pieces that we saw. Again, nothing scripted, so it was just what was in those stores at the time. And I mean, yeah, we like bad guys. We're always secretly rooting for the bad guys. So.
Bad guys always look the coolest. They're the most fun to talk about. They look great on a t-shirt.
I can see that. Yeah, everybody wants to wear the bad guy. Yeah. Do you, now that you've been doing filming of action figures, do you find that there are any similarities or vast differences between the two collector communities? So video games, action figures. Do you find that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Big time.
Big difference or big?
I think the biggest difference is that for video games, there's a lot of brand loyalty. So if you're a Nintendo guy, you're a Nintendo guy. And there's not a lot of brands. There's Nintendo, Sega, Sony, Microsoft, and then some smaller niches within those big umbrellas, right? And usually when you're a collector of games, you're kind of just collecting a lot of the big stuff. With action figures, there is a ton of lines, and it has much more of a personal connection we're finding because people actually played with these figures and not just played the games through a device on a TV screen. So the kind of collector is different, and the stuff that they're into is way more diverse.
And we had a conversation about this actually when we started shooting in February, and I find that there's, I don't want to say more camaraderie, but everyone has their own kind of thing. So Pete loves He-Man and Turtles, and Rob loves everything, and I love everything. But my point is, we kind of are excited, when people get a new piece, we all kind of share that. Even though I don't know everything about Masters of the Universe, I can still appreciate it. I find the game community, when you get a new or rare piece, the first thing is, oh, is that real?
Yeah, open it up. Let me see the board.
Yeah, let me see the board.
Well, how much did you get it for?
Yeah,
where's the receipt? There's critical.
It's a lot more proving yourself, and I'm too old for that stuff, man, right? So it's like, okay, if you don't think that this copy of Little Samson is real, that's cool, man. Okay, bye. So this community is more friendly. Is that fair to say?
Seems to be more open, more accepting.
That's just really interesting because, you hear about bootleg versions of action figures and stuff like that, but I haven't really gotten into the world of hearing about bootlegged games. I know the copies, but I mean, for somebody to try and pull something off as a first boxed version or a first Nintendo cartridge, that is foreign to me.
It exists. Interesting. Big time. That's why they want you to open it up and see the serial numbers on the boards and yada yada yada.
And we discovered that pretty early on in one of the stores we shot at in Toronto. There was one that stuck out like a sore thumb because the sticker on the NES cart was clearly not original. It was a pretty cheap printing. But I will say these guys weren't trying to sell it as the original. It was a reproduction. But that kind of started to pop up around the time we started shooting. It's more so in the community now, and it's a real problem, the bootleg games. So if you guys see auctions for Genesis carts or NES carts on eBay, don't even bid on it unless there's pictures of the card taken apart with the board, so you can actually see if the board is
And you
true or
can
not,
look that stuff
right?
up, but yeah, it's getting to the point that anything over $20, you need to see proof. Otherwise, it could be a ROM downloaded in a Raspberry Pi chip on the inside.
And that's a real shame. It's like anything, there's bootleggers and
And
people.
the difference with the action figures is bootlegs are collectible.
They are customized bootlegs. They're all very valuable and collectible. So yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I mean, if anybody's familiar with my site or how I collect or social media, I'm a big inbox collector, and it's not because I think I'm ever going to get rich off of these, or when I die that my wife or my daughter are going to be able to take them and hawk them and make millions of dollars or anything like that. It's just the way I collect, and I value the figure, the box, and everything. So I'm not a collector of boxed gaming or box games or game systems or anything like that, even though I know that there's a huge market for that. And if I ever picked one, I would love to get like a pristine copy of Ninja Gaiden. 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 I see. I thought it was Gaiden, but there we go.
It is.
Tomato.
I like Gaiden better. It's
Okay.
just the way I say
Well, there we
it.
go.
I'm not changing at this point in life.
No, I think I had to change that pronunciation in my teen years, and I didn't like it.
Ninja Gaiden's actually pretty common. That shouldn't be too hard for you to do.
No, I was actually, when I was thinking of some of these questions, I actually went on eBay, started to see what the market is for those kinds of things, and I was like, holy cow, people like want 150 or 200 for like a pristine copy that's in plastic. And I guess if I had a Grail, that would be the game I would get, because it's my favorite NES game of all time.
There's a term you just threw out there.
Yeah.
Grail.
Grail. So with that, is there any video game from any system that you guys don't currently own that you would just want a pristine mint copy of just to keep, or something that you're like, you know what, it doesn't matter, it's an original, but I'm going to bust this thing open, I'm going to play it, I'm going to admire the cartridge, and I'm going to get that new cartridge smell and experience those awesome instruction manuals we used to get in those vintage games? Like the Legend of Zelda, the artwork in that book, for example. I mean, what an awesome thing to get when we were kids.
Jay's thinking.
I would say the gold Nintendo World Championships cart.
Just for bragging rights?
Gold? Or gray?
See, this is what I go through all the time. So I say an answer, and it's not right. It's never the right one.
Gold or gray, and there's no box. And there's no manual.
No, I would say gold in mint shape. That's my answer. The label on the Nintendo World Championship cards looks like they were cut out from a piece of paper and stuck on with white glue. So a lot of them don't have the labels on them anymore. And I think there's 26 of them. 26 of the gold cards. So that's one we actually didn't come Did we come across the gold one? No, we came across the gray one, but not the gold one. The gold one, that's my answer.
I would go with Adventures of Batman and Robin for the Sega Genesis Mint. It was one of the first games for Genesis when they went from the plastic clamshell to the cardboard ones, and it had the red stripe down the side. So when you find it, it's always beat to high hell because cardboard dents right away.
Excellent. So I'm going to flip that over to the world of action figures. To me, you guys know He-Man, Star Wars, horror, Turtles. What's your current Grail action figure-wise? Something you don't own that you'd be like, you know what?
I'm sweating thinking about it.
You can even, I'll even throw it out there that you could have it mint on card, or even if you had it open, but it was still, it still had everything.
Figure or play sets too.
Okay, cool. I'll do playset as well. Figure or playset. Something to do with the action figure world.
I'm gonna go a little smaller here. I don't know what I can and can't say as far as the series goes, so I'm gonna just go a little smaller. There is a very obscure line in 1982 called Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, which was brought out, and it was kind of mirroring the cartoon that was at the time, except all the characters were based off the role-playing game. So this line, if you guys are familiar with it, has some fantastic figures, and it's produced by LJN, if you can believe that. Good in figures, not so good in games. But my very favorite character that I would like to have on a card, graded and all that stuff, would be a character named Warduke. If any of you guys know who Warduke is?
No!
Do you?
Maybe.
Warduke is the most badass.
He looks like he has purple antlers on his head.
He's a nightmare fighter that shows up in the dreams of fighters, and and you know, adventurers are scared to go in the deepest reaches because Warduke might show up. Is he a myth? Is he real? I don't know. At the time, I didn't care. I was a kid, and Warduke is my absolute favorite. Yeah.
Has any metal band stole that name yet?
That's a great metal name for
It
a
is,
band.
definitely.
Morduke's playing tonight. I call the office.
You might get sued, maybe by, because that character is still in the D&D campaign to this day, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah.
he's a very well-known character. The D&D community. Go.
I mean, honestly, there isn't really any grails that I like. I just kind of want a little bit of everything. Some visionaries, some cops.
That's not the question, though.
I'm getting to the answer.
You like it.
Yeah, I like it just fine. I would love a pristine Eternia playset, boxed, sealed. And I will say this about tidbits for our series. We came across Eternia more than once. And we came across it in the box more than once.
I just hope I win the lottery because I'm going to find out where they are. And oh man, that would be a
And
good
Jay
grail
made
to
an
have.
offer
Yeah.
on one.
Oh yeah? Will that be in the film?
Maybe. I haven't
That
read
I
it.
have to see.
I won't tell you if you bought it, but I will tell you that Jay made an offer.